Let's get into the issue itself, which is an interesting one, which has been bubbling away like so many issues in Canberra. It starts off with a couple of small drips and then it becomes an ocean.
That's right. So Sky News revealed this morning the latest instalment in this Qatar Airways issue, that Australia's Foreign Minister Penny Wong initiated a phone call with the Prime Minister of Qatar on Monday as the issue of the government blocking Qatar Airways from its bid to fly more into Australia continued to dog the Albanese government and Parliament. The phone call discussed the strip searching of Australian women at Qatar Airport in 2020, but according to the Foreign Minister, did not discuss the air services agreement the Qatari government wants to expand. Our reporter Olivia Casely this afternoon has asked the Foreign Minister about this phone call to the Qatari PM in Jakarta.
Senator, you spoke with the Prime Minister of Qatar on Monday. Why did you make the call and why were the 2020 strip searches raised? Were you seeking some kind of reassurance that that wouldn't happen again? And was that the real reason behind why those additional flights weren't allowed?
I initiated the call to discuss a range of bilateral matters. One of those obviously is in relation to the Al Hamad airport incident. That's something I spoke about in opposition, and obviously was a very distressing event for the women concerned. I also wanted to raise some multilateral issues ahead of UNGA. As you have flagged, the bilateral air services agreement was not discussed in the call.
Thanks. Reassurances that it wouldn't happen again?
Well, I think the Qatari government has already made some public statements, in fact under the previous government in relation to that.
Okay, so it's a curious phone call indeed, and was revealed by this statement released by the Qataris on their Foreign Ministry website dated Monday, which spoke about the call with the Qatari PM, Abdul Rahman bin Jassim Al Thani, and said during the call they discussed bilateral cooperation relations between the two countries and regional international developments. The Prime Minister has made clear any arrangement to allow Qatar Airways more flights into the country, a move which experts say would help reduce the cost of international airfares, would require a country-to-country agreement. So the leaders. Penny Wong released a statement this morning to Sky after we chased her on this call. Said the Minister initiated the call to discuss a range of bilateral matters, including in relation to the Al Hamad airport incident and multilateral issues ahead of the UN General Assembly later this month. The bilateral air services agreement was not raised during the call. That's curious in itself. And what was also curious is Penny Wong was asked in the Senate about Qatar Airways yesterday and this controversy. She never mentioned this phone call. Why?
Why is the Prime Minister and his government burying its head in the sand when it comes to this decision?
The point I would make is that under the arrangements that there are in place, Qatar Airways can add more seats into Australia today, and they are welcome to do so. These are national interest arrangements between government. And I would make the point in relation to competition, it isn't a free-for-all.
So we will see a Senate inquiry into this issue, thanks to the crossbenchers voting with the coalition on it late yesterday. The Greens voted with the government to block the inquiry, Tom, which is an interesting move. Must have been a quid pro quo there somewhere.